Before we march, we do have some fantastic speakers lined up, individuals that have courageously and consistently stood up for life in their own spheres. And our first speaker is the Queensland Senate candidate for the Family First Party, Katie Lush. Katie's here. Katie is a wife, a mother, a grandmother, a teacher, a lawyer, and a librarian. So she knows firsthand that the family is not only the bedrock of society, but that it's worth fighting for. And today she's here not just to share her own story, but to tell us more about her heart and the party that she is representing. So please, would you join me in warmly welcoming Katie? Well done. Well done.
Thank you so much to Cherish Life for their bravery and determination to provide a voice for the voiceless, and for providing this opportunity for me to speak to you today. This is an important event for a number of reasons. Firstly, because the most vulnerable members of our society need a voice, and we are that voice. And secondly, because next week we all vote, and our politicians need to hear this voice. We stand at a crossroads, not just as voters, but as a nation, deciding what kind of future we will leave our children. Today, I speak to you not only as a candidate, but as a voice for the voiceless, a champion for the unborn, and a believer in the sacred value of every human life. We live in a time when the dignity of life is under relentless assault. Australia has some of the most extreme abortion laws in the world. Laws that allow babies to be killed right up to the moment of birth. This extreme position has been established with little public scrutiny or meaningful debate about the ethical implications for both unborn children and their mothers. The reality of Australia's current abortion framework is concerning, regardless of one's political affiliation. In Queensland, as in other states, laws permit abortion until birth, even when both mother and baby are healthy. Sex-selective abortion, where children are terminated simply based on their gender, remains legal despite widespread opposition to such practices. These are not moderate or mainstream positions, yet they have become enshrined in our legal system. Many Australians are unaware of just how permissive our laws have become. When people learn about provisions allowing late-term abortion for essentially any reason, many express shock and dismay that such practices could be sanctioned by our government. This is not compassion. This is not progress. This is a national tragedy. But there is hope. There is a movement rising, a movement that says every life matters, that the unborn deserve protection, that women in crisis deserve real support and choices, and Family First is part of that movement. We will stand up for the sanctity of life in every law, in every parliament, in every corner of this nation. Family First is the only political party in Australia with the courage to be unashamedly, unapologetically pro-life. We believe as a party, as the Bible teaches, that every human being is made in the image of God. This is the foundation of our policy, the unique, irreplaceable value of every person from conception to natural death. This position isn't merely religious dogma, but one grounded in biological reality and human rights principles that affirm the dignity of all human beings. Australia desperately needs a more balanced approach to these sensitive issues. Family First advocates for a policy framework that recognises the humanity of the unborn child, provides genuine support for a woman in crisis, protects the conscious rights of medical practitioners, creates a culture that celebrates and supports family, and engages in respectful evidence-based public dialogue about these issues. This approach rejects the false narrative that pits women's rights against children's rights. Instead, it recognises that a truly just society protects its most vulnerable members while supporting those who care for them. Family First policies aim to make abortion unthinkable by providing women with a lot more choices. The pro-choice lobby give women only one choice: death. One choice is no choice at all. True choice for women must include robust support structures and genuine alternatives to abortion. Women deserve choices. Women deserve the choice of readily available crisis pregnancy support centres, such as Eva's Place. Women deserve the choice of properly supported adoption services instead of the current horror that is child safety interference. Women deserve the choice of protection from being financially or socially coerced into terminating a pregnancy that they would otherwise continue. Women deserve a choice to form fully informed medical consent regarding the procedure that will end their child's life, as well as a cooling off period. And women deserve the choice of flexible access to education and work during pregnancy. There are so many more choices that could be available to women, and yet the pro-choice lobby still only give women one choice: abortion. By giving women real choices, we can create a society where choosing life becomes not just morally preferable, but practically possible. And Family First is not just a pro-life party. We are, as the name says, a pro-family party. We believe in the power and the importance of family. The family, a mother, a father, and children, is the bedrock of our communities and our country. Strong families mean a strong nation. We stand for policies that incentivise monogamous marriage because children thrive best where there is a loving mother and father. We stand for policies that protect children from being indoctrinated by harmful ideologies, and we defend parents' rights. We stand for policies that defend the freedom of speech and religion because our faith and our values should never be silenced by political correctness or cancel culture. And of course, we stand for policies that protect life from conception to natural death. We do this out of love. Love for the mother in distress, love for the unborn child, love for the families struggling to stay together, and love for our nation and its future. We reject the culture of death that says some lives are disposable. We reject the lie that abortion is a solution, and instead we offer compassion, practical help, and a commitment to justice for the most vulnerable. As we head into this federal election, the major parties have refused to even discuss abortion as an issue. They are relying on it being a state issue, but the reality is the funding comes from Medicare, and that is a federal issue. It is Medicare that itemises abortions in such a way that the extent of Australia's abortion crisis is completely hidden. It's time that federal politicians were honest about abortion funding and separately itemise it so it can be exposed and defunded. As you head to the polling booth next Saturday, remember, there are many pro-life candidates standing for election. Both the major parties have them. But there is a world of difference between voting for a pro-life candidate who can be easily silenced or gagged by their party's other agendas and voting for a pro-life party whose every candidate supports the party's policies of protecting life from beginning to end. Let us be the generation that turned the tide, that chose life, that rebuilt the family, that restored hope. With God's help and with your vote, we can do it. Vote for Family First, not just for yourself, but for the voiceless, the vulnerable, the unborn. Vote for Family First for the future of Australia. Thank you.